What's going on, it's the RapNerd, and I'm here today to review Lupe Fiasco's new album called Drill Music in Zion. This is his first official album release since his last joint in 2018 called Drago's Wave. And before I get into the album, I just want to give a little brief history of my relationship with Lupe's music. There's a specific list of MCs that I have, it's a group of them, that I put in the God tier MC. And for those who speak to me, I don't speak about Lupe that much, but he is in that God tier MC, without a doubt. I mean, his lyricism, his penmanship, his writing, his structuring, his conceptual art is second to none. He is up there and he does shit that can't be done. Mural is one of my favorite rap songs ever, just because of the lyrical depth he goes into in that one record. And 8 minutes just going off like that, incredible. I mean, that puts him in the God tier alone, that alone. But with Lupe, I don't really speak about his music that much, because for me personally, it's usually his production that turns me off some, because I'm not a fan of a lot of the production that he tends to use. It's like his first album, Food and Liquor, right? That was my favorite one from him, really, because that style of production on there is what I like to hear him over. It's like this jazzy, boom bap, sample heavy instrumentation, and I love hearing lyricists in general who are of this level of complexity with lyrics rap over these beats. It just makes them sound that much better, man. So a lot of his albums since the first one, he has like sprinklings of those kind of instrumentals throughout his albums, but the entire sound of a lot of his production, for me personally, just sounds a little overproduced for somebody who's so lyrical. And I'm just not a fan of the futuristic, highly produced type of beats. It's just not my thing. Nothing wrong with them, but it's just not my thing. So I say I like to say, this album, fire. I love it because it's produced by the same person who produced Kick Push, so all of the beats on here are pretty jazzy, pretty sample heavy, pretty boom bap-ish, if you will. And of course, Lupe, being the lyrical genius he is, he just sounds fantastic over every single beat. It's only a 10-track album, but the lyricism is so complex and dense. That's all you need. This is an album that you have to play over and over again to really catch lines and see the concepts. I mean, there's still some songs on here. Hell, the whole album in general, I haven't quite figured out what it is besides being just an artistic piece of hip hop to offer up to the genre. That's pretty much where I'm at as far as the conceptual layer of it. And I think that's one reason why I like it, because Lupe, usually when he crafts his albums, they are very, like I said, they're very conceptual, down to skits leading to other songs, to skits within skits, and there's a lot of structure to his albums usually. But this one, for me personally, just feels more like he wanted to create small bodies of work with each record, and to give as a whole concept album. And I just like how effortless it sounds. And he said he did this in 3 days, which to me is I don't even know that's possible, because again, this album and the lyrics are so dense and packed with stuff. I have no idea how he wrote and recorded this in 3 days, because Lupe, if you're watching this review, you know how dense Lupe can get with his bars, and he doesn't stray away at all here, bro, at all. Every record is a gold, man, all 10 records, bro. So I love this album. Give a few my thoughts on some of the tracks. Not gonna go through all of them, but you have a record it opens up the Lion's Den, and he said that, I think he said is that his sister or his cousin? Let me see, is that his sister? My stage name. There you go. I think that's a sister or cousin, I forgot, but she does poetry, and she opens this album up with a very thought-provoking piece over some instrumentation that's really smooth, that opens your mind up to what the album is going to be. I think it was a good set-off point, and without digging too deep in it, she just goes over a lot of places about the both sides of man, who black men who grew up is we protect and kill, and the kill side is both other people and ourselves trying to be the protector and all sorts of stuff. So I really enjoy what she did, and it flows right into Gotti, which is a dope record. And I remember hearing this record, I was like, okay, I'm waiting, because you know, I'm liking the vibe of it. I'm like, all right, let me see what the next record is. And then when it goes into, what is this? Autoboto? One of my favorite records, like, on this album. This is probably, I'm not gonna say my favorite, but it's one of my favorite ones, and I just love the bounce on it with that sample and that little guitar sample in the background. And the way he's just riding the beat, I done feel myself in chord, something, you know, Polish, like, you know, a chord, I like the repetitive nature of it because it already pulls you in with the hook, and then of course Lupe just hops on this beat full attack mode, like ride with the cuss, drive with the buy, get a bus, but like his wordplay in this one is insane. Wordplay on the whole album is ridiculous, but on this one it sounds even more insane because of the pattern and pace that he's rapping at, and it's just line after line after line, hitting this line here, multis in between. Like the one bar I really love. He says, let me find it. When you read the bars, man, like it's just so much rhyming and so much wordplay. Lies to the judge, rain in the sky and the sea, might rise with the slides to the muds, strides to the flies from all the kinds of minds, reporting live from the hive on the sides of the sludge. You hear all them bars, sides of the line, like I'm so happy he released this album and it's digestible the way it is, because here I think the lyricism just is in Front Street. Like it's not. It's a lot, but it's digestible. You could just hear it from, you know, just from a sonic level, just like he's fucking killing it right now. Like, and then he goes on. One deep meditate, one street separate, high to the Crips, goodbye to the Bloods. Do you hear the bars? He did an inner multi right there. Like, yo, one deep meditate, one street separate, high to the Crips, goodbye to the Bloods. So he brought the bar back, and he just keeps going. But it was the souls, the lords, and the G's segregated by the streets and the shy where I was. Go wise to the nudge. Why buy you a tub? When you gonna buy you a flood, better buy you a sub. How you gonna survive in the club? You gonna kayak and just rise up above? And the waves come and push and the titles are shoved? What's an infrared dot to a whole dot gov? That's insane. And just to see him go back and forth and just keep that pace of lyricism up on a beat like this is nuts. So that's probably one of my favorite tracks. And then he goes into a record called Precious Things, where he's talking about his hands pretty much. It's like each verse is a version of his hands being used in ways that he didn't want to use them, and where he's at. And I think it's done so subtly that you might not know what he's talking about unless you really listen, because the first listen I was like, what is he talking about? And then the second time I listened, I was like, he's talking about his hands. And the first verse is referencing hands a lot, and then from the second two verses are just the description of what his hands are doing. And I think his penmanship is just crazy, dog. And the next song is Kiosk, which I love the concept and the idea of him being the kiosk man, talking to people, and how he explains like how people get caught up and going to the kiosk. Everybody want the jewelry, everybody want the big jewelry, and he even goes as far to say like, you ain't gotta be a ball player or a rapper or celebrity to get here, you know. And the hook is kind of in this, well, the whole song really it's got this like whisper type attraction to it, to where it's kind of like leading you in, and that's how it feels. I used to go to them kiosks and buy big ass jewelry back in my heyday of rapping. Like I used to have all the big jewelry, the big chains, the big fake chains, the big fake bracelets, all of that stuff. And every time I be in the mall, I look at the kiosk, I'm like, do I need me some jewelry? And I love at the end of the song, the kiosk is like, hi, sir. And then Lupe's voice comes in and is like, yo, I already got a watch, I'm good. He's like, excuse me. And I just found that to be a nice little touch to end the record with. And then he goes into Miss Mural, which is another record that's just lyricism on a whole different level. Like, I gotta read a few bars from this too. It's one of those records where it's just him just going off for like 100 bars straight. It's not even like, I don't even think there's like a hook on this thing. But just, I'm reading on my phone, so you see me looking down, that's why. When he gets into the bar, or the rejections or mistakes, the painter said that's not for a question or debate. He literally rhymes the next like 16 bars with that same that same syllable. Like, and I think that's just nuts, because weapons full of blanks, step into the tank, like it's all there, and then within the bars again, he's throwing around, stepping, repping, all of this, and it gets to my favorite line of the song, possibly of the album, where he says, "Man does not become superior because you connect him with a cape, nor does he come inferior because you connect him with an ape." Like, man, let me read it a little bit more clear. Man does not become superior because you connect him to a cape, nor does he come inferior because you connect him with the apes. The rhyming, superior, inferior, connect him with a cape, connect him with, like, this penmanship. I'm so glad Lupe dropped this album, because again, this right here is God tier rapping. This is the difference between cats like Lupe and all these other guys. I'm sorry. Like, he's in a little category of his own with the other God tier MCs who I have in that list. God tier rapping at its best, man. So, love that record too. Miss Mural, the next joint. I always say I'm not gonna go through all the records, and I still go to them, but this one's pretty short, so I can easily kind of go through it. Naomi's another boom bap record, real jazzy. And then another one of my favorite songs, Drill Music in Zion. I love that beat. It's just, I think this song is what the album's about, and it's about. And I heard him talk about it in interviews where drill music isn't just a specific hip hop thing. Drill music is any culture that celebrates, their kingdoms pretty much taking over another kingdom. Like, that's what drill music is. Like, it's an idea of, I got my revenge and they praise me for it. So, people look at hip hop and, drill music as being so negative and violent. It poses the question, like, well, isn't all music? Like, when, the World War happened, and and the winner went back home and they celebrated in the bar, they were chanting about the win they just had, and with that win comes a lot of murder and a lot of people getting killed. The same thing that happens here, and I think he's drawing the parallels between the two. So I like that he made this record right here, and it goes for any other place in the world that does the same thing. And then you get to Seattle, which I like, and I love how it ends on, I wanted to see how he pronounces it, because it's faux on for them, or on phoneme. Not really sure how to pronounce it, but I just love the concept of, he starts the verse off, he's like, "There's too many dead rappers," and then he just stops, he's like, "That's the verse." He lets the beat play, then the hook comes in, then he explains the idea of what the whole album, again, after, Drill Music in Zion, about there's just too many dead rappers, like, and that he wishes more people were faking it, because back in the day, people used to get called out for being fake, but it's like now, rappers are too real, and they live in too much of what they say, and then they get killed for it, more so than ever, you know what I mean? Like, people getting gunned down all the time, because they're too real. So, that's what that whole track is about, and again, overall, this album, easily one of my favorites. Like, it's number 2 right now, right after Push, who I feel like is another God MC on that list, right alongside Lupe. I'm so happy these two God MCs dropped albums, because to me, both of these projects separate themselves from any rap album. Anybody rapping right now, it separates themselves, period. Like, this is God tier rapping on full display, and I'm so happy to have this project. I love hearing Lupe with his production. I can listen to this all day. It is just phenomenal, man. So if you heard the album, what do you think? Let me know. What's your favorite bars? What's your favorite track? What's your favorite Lupe Fiasco album? Let me know in the comments. If you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.